It is day 2 of the Munich Security Conference in Germany. Well, security has been heightened after the conference was jolted by the news of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny's death. Hundreds of politicians, military officers and diplomats have arrived at the venue, Berischerhof, of the 3-day annual conference dubbed the Davos of Defense. Now, issues at the center stage of this conference are the war in Israel and Ukraine, as well as fears over U.S. commitment to defense if Donald Trump is re-elected as the President of the United States. Washington's top diplomat Antony Blinken and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have arrived at the venue. NATO Secretary Jens Stoltenberg today called for the United States to deliver what they have promised to Ukraine, while a $60 billion package of military aid was blocked in the Congress.
It's not for me to give advice on how to pass legislation through the US Congress, but what I can say is the vital and urgent need for the US to decide on a package for Ukraine, because we need that support, and we have a burden sharing between Europe and Canada and the United States, so now it's for the US to deliver what they have promised.
President Volodymyr Zelensky made a fresh appeal for shortage of munitions. His call at the gathering of 180 leaders and defense chiefs at the Munich Security Conference comes at a critical juncture, with Ukraine's troops were forced to withdraw from the frontline city of Avdiivka to avoid being encircled.
Dear friends, unfortunately, keeping Ukraine in the artificial deficit of weapons, particularly in deficit of artillery and long-range capabilities, allows Putin to adapt to the current intensity of the war.
Now, on the sidelines of the Global Security Conference, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with leaders and officials from Armenia, Ukraine and France. Blinken sat down with Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba. Washington's top diplomat used the opportunity to highlight the significance of the death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny.
Soon we will mark the 2-year anniversary of Russia's re-aggression against Ukraine. And not that we needed a reminder, but the death of Alexei Navalny yesterday was a reminder of the extraordinary brutality Putin and his government against Russians in Russia, anyone who opposes him, and Russia's neighbors.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken also met with China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi at the sidelines of the ongoing conference. Now, according to Beijing's Foreign Office, the top Chinese diplomat discussed lifting U.S. sanctions against Chinese companies and individuals. Now, the two sides also discussed people-to-people exchanges in what the Chinese Foreign Office called a quote-unquote frank, substantial and constructive talk. As part of the dialogue, China's Wang Yi also called for improved China-US ties, emphasizing upon the San Francisco vision. Meanwhile, UK's Foreign Minister David Cameron met with Chinese counterpart Yang Yi. Cameron reportedly told his Chinese counterpart to use Beijing's influence on Iran to curb Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. The concern comes amid a surge in the rebel group's assaults on foreign vessels. Now, as for the US, the situation has stabilized as attacks have reduced post-Washington strikes on Houthi targets. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.